You're listening to Moments in Between, the podcast where we ditch the filters and get real with local entrepreneurs.
We're your hosts, Amanda Lombardo and Jeff Monlock, part-time professionals,
but full-time curious, so pour yourself something strong,
coffee or whiskey, no judgment,
and kick back and get ready for the unfiltered stories that might just change how you see things.
Or at least make you laugh.
On today's episode, this is episode numero uno, so we got to talk about, well, who the hell we are, because I don't think anyone knows. Well, at least a lot of people don't know. Why don't you kick it off for us, Amanda?
So I am the owner of Happy Tales by Amanda. I've been established for the last couple years in Hunterdon and Somerset County. I was lucky enough to even meet Jeff and Nicole by surprise, but we'll get into that later. And I'm so grateful for the friendship that we have created and the group that we've created along the way, meeting other businesses in the area and bringing our community together.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that was a good synopsis. I think we're good. That's the rest of the episode. No. So a little bit about me. I'm Jeff Mondlock. I am a photographer, videographer, creative, I guess, entity in central New Jersey here. My business is based out of Bridgewater and Somerville, but we cover pretty much all over the state. I'm married to the best baker in the universe. Her name is Nicole, and it's Baked with Love by Nicole, so I got to give her a plug, or else, well, I guess we can call her like an unofficial sponsor of the episode, you know, because she's in here listening. She's actually making Pop-Tarts right now as we speak. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about me. I did run into Amanda pretty early on to moving to Somerville, which was pretty awesome. Strange how it happened, but yeah, so that was a fun little coinky dink. But yeah, so I guess the first thing we really want to talk about is how did you I think I want us to talk throughout this podcast. I want us to talk about things like how do people get established, or what are some of the woes you got that you went through to get started in your business, or so tell me like a little bit about your business and how you got started. Why did you get started in Happy Tales?
So I think during COVID, I was in school. I had my cosmetology license. I was at RVCC at the community college in Branchburg, and then I got my associates through there, went to Rowan, got my bachelor's, and then I was working, and I'm like, I want to work for myself. I want to find my passion. You know, it's hard when you don't have a family that owns businesses as well, and you're the first one to own a business. And there was just some passion like inside me, and I couldn't explain what it was or how I was feeling, but I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm determined. I will figure it out. Unfortunately, I paid LegalZoom to start my business for me, but now I know from all the people that I've met and, you know, everything along the way that I didn't need LegalZoom to start the business, but I'm grateful that LegalZoom helped me along the way. But yeah, I had a passion for animals growing up. I used to babysit and dog sit throughout the years. I used to live in a town in White House. It was Cushitunk, and all the neighbors needed like pet sitting here and there, and, you know, babysitting. And I'd say, well, do you have pets? And I was more interested in the pets than the babies at that point, but I would do anything to be around animals.
Fuck the babies.
Yeah,
we don't need
fuck
them.
the babies. So
that should be on a t-shirt.
That started the thoughts of like, I love animals. I grew up with animals my whole life, and I was like, my passion is animals, and I will own a business taking care of animals.
And now you can't get rid of them.
And now they're all over.
Yeah, everywhere. We actually have a dog sitting in between us right now. Someday if we get into filming it, everybody will see. And she sleeps most of the time. Her name is Maggie. And I imagine occasionally Jake and Max will show up. You got two beautiful pups at home. So that's nice. Do they kind of inspire you as a dog walking business, or like who walks them? I mean,
I think they inspire us because my one dog is a little reactive, not reactive, but you know, has his moments. And my other dog is very not really leash trained, and I feel like we spend so much time with other people's animals that like, when we get home, we just want to snuggle and hang with our dogs. And we haven't put the training that we should into our younger dog. Our older dog went to training, and he's good on leash, knows how to walk and do his business, but our other dog is just a little wild card. But when we're busy and we're out, working and stuff, we have our walkers come in, which we're very grateful for, to help us with our animals, because sometimes days are longer than we expect them to be.
That's nice. And if you work hard enough, you can train them to walk other dogs too. Just tie a leash to Max and Jake and just let them walk some dogs. Exactly. No, it's pretty funny though. It's not like you're neglecting at home. It's just you get home and you see so many other dogs. You probably just you said you just want to snuggle and you get home, and it's hard to start enforcing how to not pull on the leash.
Yep.
I know that I'm just terrible at every time I see my dog do something cute, I melt, so it's hard for me to ever enforce rules with Maggie. And she barks a little in the hallway, but she's a sweetheart. So
she is.
And Max and Jake are really great dogs too. Max is like a military dog. He's his own one dog militia. So it's always fun to encounter him. But really amazing. They're amazing animals, and I'm jealous that your job is 100% entailed into working with dogs. Do you have some dogs that you just have cut as clients because you're like, screw this dog, it's got an attitude problem?
I think it's more the client than the dog. Sometimes clients are just, I don't know. I have a certain system that I use, and everything goes through the system so that we can communicate in one place and have my walkers see all the communication, all the appointments. If there's a cancellation, the client cancels. If there's an addition, the client adds it. It's very informative, and some clients will not use the system, and I'm like, how are you going to book an appointment and text me if you don't use the system? If it's not in the system, I won't see the appointment, and no one will be at your house to walk your animal. So I think that's the hardest part, is sometimes people refuse to use the system, but I think it's important to realize that everyone has boundaries, and as a business owner, we all need boundaries.
Boundaries, that could be a whole month full of episodes. Boundaries are the hardest thing as a business owner to kind of sit and create for yourself. I know for my business, I'm terrible about it. I'm answering my phone too late all the time. I don't think I've ever seen you put your phone or computer off. Yes, one has to be open. I haven't seen it
at my wedding.
Yeah, but I don't know. That might have been the one time, because you'll be on vacation. You'll be like, I'm not working, and then you're texting me that you're not working right now, or you're in Mexico or in Florida. So there's definitely, we need to both probably be a little bit better with boundaries. And my wife is looking at me as I say this because I'm the worst with it. But yeah, so boundary. But the thing is you start to be like, you got to figure out a boundary where you're not working, but you're able to handle things that come at you. You're not taking your free time and ruining it, but like how we met, for example. I met you through just a Facebook group. I found you online, but at the same time, I called you and you're very formal, which was ridiculous. And now that I know who you are, even I bet people listening are like, she's very formal. But I think you'll slowly unravel the more margaritas we have. But so I met you that way. And you're like, oh yeah, I happen to live in the same exact building, even though you were recommended through Facebook. And then later that day, I think it was that day, my mom and dad were in town just because we were moving into I don't know what were they in town for. I think just visiting because we just moved here. And I got a picture from Amanda here. It was a selfie with my mom, which was a little freaky. Okay, this person is going to walk our dog, but I guess she just ran into my parents at the Starbucks, and you're so personable that you were talking about just how you have a dog walking business. And that's an example of being able to meet someone in public and be able to talk up your business, but also you're not going around pitching yourself. You're having conversations with people like my mother, who talks everyone's ear off. So you're able to bring your business round in it. So that's pretty neat. I need to be better about that, as opposed to me sitting and just being like, oh, I can take your photo. I think I get that. I get that a lot. I go around on Instagram and people are probably like, I'm going to block this guy because he has too many ideas. I keep pitching ideas to people. I think that's been a big source of clients for me is like Instagram. Where do you find a lot of people for your business?
I think Instagram is good. Also, Facebook. I think a lot of the groups on Facebook, Facebook is important. And then I get a lot of emails, but I have a hard time using my email. I always end up texting clients or potential clients a link. They fill out the link and then we set up our pet pocketbook. But one thing about boundaries that I did want to disclose is I've been having a very hard time. When I wake up in the morning, I grab my phone. I jump out of bed. Not even just like 5 minutes in the bed with my husband, talking to the dog, saying good morning. I'm out the door with my phone like I have somewhere to be. I need to set a boundary to not look at my phone for the first hour of waking up. How do you feel? Are you the same way?
I don't want to say that, but yes, but that's absolutely true. You don't give yourself time to even wake up. And how are we even supposed to do strong work? Like, do you have any examples of like something good that's ever come of answering your phone right off of waking up? It's like, it's not like you get business done.
Or better yet, in the middle of the night when you wake up to pee and I look at my phone and I start replying to messages, realizing it's 3 a.m. I should not be replying at 3 a.m.
If only your customers knew that you were sitting on a toilet with your pants down at 3 a.m. talking to them. That would make a big difference, like maybe even a little taking a dump while talking to them. Like, yeah, I trust this girl.
We're passionate.
We're passionate. That's passion. That's a passionate group. But that's pretty funny. Yeah, there's nothing good to gain at certain hours of the day. We're learning a lot about why you're addicted to dogs and why you have a business that involves dogs. But it's not just dogs you watch. Tell us what are some of the other animals that you end up running around with?
So we also take care of cats. We do have our specialty of cockatoos. We do chickens, rabbits.
Wait. The specialty of cockatoos?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, we're the only cockatoo watching cockatoos in the area.
I've been watching cockatoos for a few years now, and I'm proud to say that I love them.
You love them. What's to love about them? They talk a lot, right?
They love Brian. I call Brian Big Bird. It was his nickname growing up.
Brian is her husband,
Yes.
for anyone listening.
And when he comes down the stairs, they start screaming at him. But when I walk down the stairs to feed them, they are silent and don't care. So Brian connects with them more than I do, and I get jealous. But that's besides the point. I still love them.
Do you think you're kind of the dictator of the bunch? So
Yes.
the cockatoos know you're gonna crack the whip.
Yes, it's time to eat.
Yeah.
Your veggies.
Eat your
Here's your snack.
veggies.
Here's your fresh water.
Your fresh. Oh yeah. So cockatoo specialists. I think that needs to go on your LinkedIn page.
Yes.
And you said you also see bunnies, which we had a pet bunny for a wonderful 11 years. He's a handsome boy. And he's the reason we ended up getting Maggie as a dog once he had passed on. We got our dog Maggie, which we weren't even expecting to get a dog. We were just going to pet them to feel better.
Aww.
And then we ended up naming her middle name Rue because it's an anagram of our bunny Thumper's name. We took a couple letters and turned it into something so we could connect it. So he lives on through her. He's super hungry, but yeah, we would have let you watch him, I guess.
Thanks. That makes me feel special.
So special. So bunnies, what other animals? You have chinchillas, you have horses, what?
We do take care of farm animals as well. I'm allergic to horses, but I still take care of them. I used to ride when I was younger, but I don't know if it's the hay or them. I think it's the hay, but I instantly get like hives on my face. But they're such beautiful animals, and I swear they take away my anxiety when I look at them. So I love them. I love all animals.
What if you look at a person with like a really long face? Do they take away your anxiety too? Like,
Yes.
Some people just look like a horse.
I wish I could go to meet and greets and just talk to the dog, and the owner's not there.
Yeah. I mean, you should just try that. Just try not even acknowledging the owner and see how that goes.
And ask the dog, where's your food? Where's your water? Where's your leash? Where are your treats?
And the owner's like, hey, eyes up here. And you just leave without even acknowledging them. I think that's a smart idea, business plan at the very least. I might start doing that.
All right, enough of my business. How about your business? How'd you get established?
So I am a recovering journalist, is what I like to call it. I worked in the news industry out of college for a couple of different affiliates of NBC, ABC, CBS as a reporter and a news anchor for some of the stations. And I don't think I was very good at it. But I did like telling stories. I didn't like doing a lot of the doom and gloom. So near the end of my tenure, we had to pitch a story every day where we had to basically, every morning we started with a storyboard meeting where we pitched like, I don't know, up to 5 story ideas. And I was terrible at finding those story ideas at the time because they wanted things that were going to like lead the newscast. And my thoughts were like, oh, local dog saves owner from falling into river. Or look at this, there's a bear climbing a tree. Let's do a story on that. So that didn't really work well with with what newscasts were really wanting. But by the end there, I was basically reporting solely on the levels of water at the dam and how to ride in a yacht, how to ride in a boat, all the fluff pieces you see at the end of the newscast. But what I got to do by doing that is I was able to practice on different types of storytelling because there's a little less pressure on the story itself. And I worked for a really cool station where they focused a lot on storytelling. So I learned a lot about camera work and a lot about actually scripting and writing your story. And although I didn't bleed and lead, I would get to meet some really interesting people and tell some really fun stories that way. I met my lovely wife living down in Tennessee, and she's from New Jersey. New Jersey, as my mother says, when she makes fun. But so we moved back up to the area here, and I just took any job I could find, really, working in sales. And a few years of that, I kind of kept storytelling and camera gear in the back of my mind the whole time, always kind of keeping a camera in my hand. Eventually, that led to me starting a side business of like shooting weddings, and I got my own camera to use, and I would do a little photography here, a little video there, and it just kind of grew it till the point where it was a similar amount of time doing work for my business as it was to my full-time job at the time. And the full-time job at the time had me traveling a lot. And the thing I always liked is every job I held while I was making my business was somewhat relevant to what I do now. So all the skills that I built up were it was like I was training myself to become an entrepreneur. Like I was learning different sales systems and CRMs and different tactics you can use to grow your business. And it was a lot of fun, but at the same time, it wasn't giving me the work-life balance that I needed. And it's a little too easy to get caught up in work, and we're talking boundaries. There's no boundaries at that point when I'm working a full-time job and then also trying to grow this business on the side for Monlock Moments. And so I eventually just kind of decided to go off and quit the 9-to-5 and do this full time. It was a big jump because my wife is also an entrepreneur, and she's doing full time as her cottage food baker here in New Jersey. And so we're both living the entrepreneur life. You have that in your household as well. Brian helps run with your business too. So it's interesting. You got a lot of running around trying to make sure you got enough money for a mortgage or for rent, as opposed to in my news days it wasn't too different because they pay you like nothing. Be like, oh, you're the news anchor, but then they wonder why you're drunk at the bar. It's because you're also a kid. So the news didn't really pay well. The sales pays because people want you to sell their product, so they're going to always pay pretty well, but it's not always about all the money. I'd say, I don't know what it's like for you, but having a little bit more time and freedom to do things is really nice.
I think that is definitely very important, is the balance of not having to show up to a 9-to-5 and working on yourself, working for yourself. Really getting to know other businesses in the area has helped me evolve and become who I am today. I think without meeting Jeff and Nicole, I really don't know where I'd be, because they were such an important part, and now we know so many of the same people, and we all network together. We all build each other up. If I'm not feeling confident about something, I call them and I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling pretty today. And you can ask Jeff and Nicole. I've literally called them, like, look at this photo I took. I took a photo today for another business I'm in. and they said, "You look beautiful." I'm like, "I don't feel beautiful. Like, what is it?" But we're all so hard on ourselves, and we need to take a step back sometimes and realize that we need to stop being so hard and just be in the moment and understand that we look so deeply into things that other people aren't looking deeply into. We're very hard. I think it's hard to be in that position sometimes. I think we're all hard on ourselves.
That is very true. I would say that's the biggest thing for me is like my business is all about two things. It's about branding and it's about like self-love, right? Mm-hmm. So we're either storytelling through picture and video for your business, your entrepreneur, or your brand, or even your personal brand, or I'm doing videos or photos and short films that help people feel like incredible, right? So, and every branding shoot, I tell everybody to bring an extra outfit at the end that makes you feel like powerful, or makes you feel gorgeous, or makes you feel sexy, or makes you feel like you can tackle the whole world. Because even though your brand, you want to look like this, maybe you could take a couple photos where you're wearing a badass leather jacket and it's something you would not normally wear, but it's something you feel makes you look cool. Then people get to have at least that experience of trying something a little different and feeling badass or feeling beautiful in a different way. And it's I guess we're all on a journey just to feel pretty, mm-hmm. feel gorgeous. And that's what I love about my job is I get to do that. And it's fun to get to see people who are like, oh, I hate how I look. I hate how I look no matter what. And then they come in and we do a session, and I'm a big goofball, so they lighten up pretty quick. And they end up having a lot of fun, and I like to show people as I go how they look and tell them things I would change. I'm also Amanda, you've shot with me a few times, mm-hmm. and I pose along with you.
It's so much fun. He's taught me like this thing where you like tilt your head multiple ways. Is it 12 or 8 ways? 9 ways. Darn it.
It's probably 8, but I call it 9. It's based off of this really incredible portrait photographer, Sue Bryce, which I followed through this Portrait System podcast and different things that have a ton of different tips. And anyone in portrait photography, I recommend listening to the Portrait System. It's incredible. But they give a ton of tips, and one of the things Sue Bryce on there says is about the 9s. It's basically like you envision a tic-tac-toe board, and you put your face in each square of the tic-tac-toe board. A tic-tac-toe board, as kids call a hashtag nowadays. Amanda, that's your generation probably, right?
Probably.
You're a hashtag kid. That's what the generation should be called. But yeah, it's all. And then that's how I start a lot of sessions for people who don't feel comfortable on camera, because then you can be like, oh, I don't have a good side, and then we take that, and then chances are 1 out of 9 is going to be your good side, right? And I mean, if you keep changing your position a little bit more, I guess you can find other things like. But that and flow posing are the big tips I tell people who are not comfortable in front of camera. So flow posing is where you make a pose and then you change one thing about it. So like maybe your hand is on your chin doing the thinker. And then you move your hand down to your butt to do the stinker. You don't have to do that. But you just move one little thing. Like maybe you change your facial expression, or maybe your hand moves a couple inches behind your head, or something just different. And because you don't have to get everything right in one photo. So I think that's an important thing to know.
Can we talk about how much fun we had on my engagement shoot?
Oh, yeah, that's a fun shoot. So if it's another way to get people to feel comfortable, I guess, is to bring bottles of wine and tequila. Was it tequila or vodka, I think?
There were Surfsides, vodka.
I don't even know what's Surfside. Is that like a seltzer?
It was vodka.
Or iced tea or something?
I don't even know what's in it. Vodka lemonade.
Okay.
Remember we had a couple of those.
Yeah.
I think we had tequila.
Yeah. That's right. Tequila, is what some call it. So yeah, so that helped you loosen up.
That helped me loosen up, and my favorite photos of all time are those photos, and I look at them daily.
It's all about just being comfortable, and I think the alcohol could be a help for sure for some folks.
As long as you're not driving.
Yeah, exactly.
We were in walking distance.
Yeah, we were neighbors at the time. So you and your now husband, we're all drinking on that. And it got to, yeah, the photos were incredible.
His
I
beautiful
always,
wife brought us flowers.
yeah, she brought flowers
and
out.
it made it even more beautiful.
That was a good word for it, beautiful. But there's a point where you and your fiance at the time started getting a little scantily clad in the field, and those were some interesting photos
DM
too.
me if you want to see them.
Yeah, that's that's the subscription model for that. No, but it's just fun to see because it brings out a different side. But you don't have to do that. But if you're very uncomfortable in a photo shoot session, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have a couple sips of a margarita or something to warm you up at the very least.
But in general, my first shoot with Jeff, he made me feel very comfortable and secure. And I think certain photographers kind of do this kind of line of work just to pay the bills, but Jeff actually takes time. Like he said before, he will show you a photo and you'll be able to see, oh, I'm standing like that. Oh, my face is like, I don't like how my eyes look. Okay, try this. Like some people just go in. Like if you think back then, I don't know if, your family ever did what was it, at Target? I don't know.
JCPenney?
Yes,
not JCPenney. Was
JCPenney.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are
You
the
think
best.
they did their photos? Did JCPenney photographers ever show you what you looked like? Or were they like, oh, family time, look over here, 3, 2, 1, snap? Like, and that was it, and that was your family photo, even if your eyes were half closed.
And they nailed it every time. No, no, yeah, that's JCPenney. So it's funny, I get people who want to do photos shoots like that still, and we do. It's almost just like mocking more than anything because there's always the awkward family photos that are really funny.
We've had one of those before at the Avalon.
Yeah, we have. We've done a few of those. A lot of the dog shoots are always fun.
Yes.
Whenever we get the puppies involved, we used to do a couple of those collabs where we'd have people sign up to get their dogs photographed for Christmas cards and things like that. But then we also had someone bring in 3 cats, which that was amazing because not only did they bring in 3 cats, the cats were all wearing jean jackets, which I didn't think I've ever seen a cat wear clothes, let alone a jean jacket. And so those are some badass cats, badass kitties.
Very cute. And
Yeah.
they did well.
Yeah.
Catnip treats or some shit.
I don't know what they did, but those cats all sat on that chair. They looked in each direction. I had to Photoshop a little bit to get them all looking in the same direction, but it worked, and that's all we could ever ask for is that we can get the cats looking in the right direction. So yeah, those are just kind of some fun ways that photography and my business feeds into my life, I guess. There's also just like I said, the self-value side of it, which is some of it is more, it's not as business-like, and it's more just trying to connect with the community. When I do photo events, and it's a lot of times covering for maybe just barely enough to cover the food that's at the event or something like that, because we just want to do something that'll pick up the spirits of people at a certain time of the year. So and I also like to do a lot of educational events. I like teaching people. So as you said, I like to show you how to pose, and I'm a big sweaty guy. as I'm photographing, I kind of pose along with you. It's kind of fun. Makes you laugh at the very least. And I got a quick trigger, so I can take a photo of you laughing at me, and that's always the best ones. But people are like, oh, everyone always looks like they're having such a great time at your shoots, but always they're just laughing at the sweaty photographer that's dancing around. I think I got to get some behind the scenes of that. It'd be good for an Instagram reel or so.
I'll do it for you.
I
I'll
appreciate
practice.
that. Yeah, very appreciated. So that would be nice. But yeah, so I also do the education side. So I have different mentees that I bring on board, and I have assist on shoots, and I try to guide them in my footsteps, which who knows if it's the right direction, but I try to teach them just the basics of how to shoot manual, and it's kind of cool. A lot of people pick up a camera that never did before, and they're able to use it like an actual beginner photographer, as opposed to someone who just shoots on auto and doesn't understand why everything's so blurry. But now everyone wants those damn blurry photos, which is eating away at my artistic side a little bit. It's my wedding photos are all me running away, and it's out of focus and blurry, and maybe I need to get back into shooting weddings where I could just do whatever the hell I want. Maybe I just get drunk and go shoot the wedding, and if I make it blurry, I just say it was an artistic choice.
Add in some raindrops.
Yeah, just edit it in. It's art. That's all. But yeah, so it's an interesting field of work. So between dogs and photos, I think we got plenty. Our jobs aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But that just kind of gives a gist of what we do and kind of the background. So as we do this podcast, we're going to have different guests on each episode that maybe tackle a different topic that could be a little hard to talk about for some, or it could be a little goofy. And we want to bring on guests that are really relevant to it and that are actually from the central New Jersey area, which is nice too. But it doesn't have to be, but it's nice to keep it local. Shop local, y'all. And by doing that, I think it'll be kind of a cool way to learn about the community here, right? I mean, we've only told just a few stories about ourselves, and this is all introductory, but there's a lot to tell. And we're going to unlock each other's brains a bit with doing this.
Get ready.
Get ready. And it's just going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing where this all leads. I guess going back to one thing we wanted to talk about before kind of wrapping up in the first episode was judging a book by its cover. And that goes back to when we met you. You and your now husband came in very matter of fact, and I was like, this girl is uptight as hell. Like, is she gonna be watching our dog? You came in, you're like, okay, yeah. So, and you like walked right into our place and right past it, and you're like, okay, so this is how we do it. We do like this, and you had a whole speech for your meet and greets. And I don't know if that's how you do it anymore, but it was so buttoned up, and Nicole and I were both like, oh, they're really like, I don't know, they're very, we judged you hardcore, thinking you might have been a little
Tell
uptight.
me more.
No, but we ended up being very wrong because next time we saw you, it was nothing like that. Like, I think we looked at the camera when you guys were actually watching our dog, and like Brian came in, he's like, oh, hello Maggie, oh, how are you? He's like, oh, you got a nice belly, you got your beautiful dog. And then we knew we made the right choice, and we all became really fast friends, which I love.
So what did you learn from our meet and greet to now?
That you guys are uptight assholes. No, no, that you can't judge a book by its cover for real is a thing, and that's why I implore everyone when they see me sweating out there, taking photos.
So should I loosen up at meet and greets? Should I walk in like, hey, can I have a drink?
Yeah, you walk in.
Can I sit down at your table?
Walk in. I think if you could come in, sit down, just ask where the bathroom is, and go unload in the toilet for a little bit.
You know what's funny? When we go to clients' houses, sometimes we do ask our clients if we can use the bathroom, because I don't know, some of my staff feel weird sometimes, like using the bathroom. I don't know. I personally will use anyone's bathroom. If I gotta go, I gotta go. I can't help it when I have 8 walks in a row. I'm going.
You gotta give your staff Happy Tails branded diapers for them to wear. It depends. And that way they don't have to worry about that. I mean, if you got a long day of walks, I don't want you stopping and stinking someone's bathroom up, you know. You gotta do your due diligence. So I feel like we are talking about some topics today that were just kind of an initial like look at what we're hoping to see from just different guests. That don't judge a book by its cover, because I thought Amanda was very uptight when I first met her, but I think she's just actually a professional, because she didn't want to just come into my house and just be a total pain in the ass. Instead, you were a professional, and I need to be better at allowing people to be professional. But yeah, so don't judge a book by its cover is a big one. The boundaries. What do you think are your biggest boundary tips for people? I know you said that you don't think it's good to check your phone right when you wake up. Give yourself an hour.
Yeah, I think boundaries are important, especially, days off. As business owners, I feel like we never schedule those complete days off. I mean, I personally try and take like maybe Sunday, Monday. I don't know. I feel like those are kind of slower days personally, but I'm still on my phone checking our app, Pet Pocketbook, checking requests. I'm not really off, even though I'm not walking or at an overnight or a wedding taxi. I'm still sucked into my laptop, to say the least. And I think I really need to work on that boundary. And I think other business owners need to set a boundary and say, I'm off these days. Like, I need to do this for myself. This is healthy. Not answering messages at 10 p.m. when clients decide to reach out. I think that's also important. No matter how much you need that money to pay a bill or something, it's very important to take care of your mental health and set a boundary with clients early on, because people do take advantage, even though, right, they don't mean to take advantage, but they do.
Yeah, it's not, and it's almost like they're not taking advantage because you're giving it to them, right? Because you're telling them it's okay for you to talk to me at this hour. I'm going to answer whenever. Then that you can't be upset when they get mad that you're not answering them at all hours because you told them. You basically made that an okay thing. So
See,
I like that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
interrupt me. I'll just keep talking otherwise.
I had a client one time that reached out because I didn't answer a message, and they were like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yes." They were like, "Well, I didn't see a response." And I'm like, took me a second because I was like, "Oh my God," like I didn't answer the first message. And then I realized, they care about me, and I really appreciate that. But that just goes to show that I'm so on guard, and I'm always answering so quickly that if it takes me a few hours or a day to answer, some clients are like, "What the fuck is going on?"
She's dead. It's like, what's going on? I called all the hospitals. You're nowhere to be found. I just needed to know if you're going to make it for your 1 p.m. walk. And I thought you were dead. Which, by the way, their dogs are more important than their children. So I can see why people would freak out if they didn't know, if they didn't get the confirmation from you.
Yes.
More of a reason to get systems in place too. Hiring people and trusting people. I think that's my biggest thing that I'm going to struggle with outside of boundaries, is just being able to let go and trust other people with aspects of the business that I'm currently holding on to too long. I think AI is a scary assistant that is growing, and ChatGPT is becoming a new employee for everybody out there. And I'm interested to see where the world goes, and even just the next year. Google scared the heck out of me with this new Google VO. I don't know if you've seen all these.
I haven't heard that.
There's these, so some people are using it to make like fake news articles and fake news videos, like broadcasting, and it looks like an actual anchor or reporter in the field, and
Facebook.
it's saying nonsense, and it's like fake news is coming to a new level. But I think the people who are doing it right are the people who are doing the Sasquatch that's hanging out with his bros drinking beers, and that's AI being used the right way, in my opinion.
There's a lot of AI shark stuff on Facebook, like in the water. They're picking up a shark on a boat, which it was so weird. I read the comments. I'm like, what is going on? And then there was a shark being taken out of the water and then put in a pool on the beach, and everyone was playing with the shark, and then someone jumped in. It was a pool of blood. Like, what is going on?
That's AI for you. That's what the world needed, is just a big fever dream that we could see on our Instagram feeds and our TikTok. Do you prefer TikTok or Instagram? This is a generational question, I think.
I think
You're
Instagram
right on the cusp.
Personally for myself, because I don't know how to TikTok.
Oh,
How about
okay.
you?
I'm Instagram, totally. I'm just young enough to not be on Facebook a lot, like my parents, and then old enough to not understand what TikTok really is.
It's a little much with all these dances. I can't remember, too many things in the morning. I don't have a good morning routine. Now you're telling me I have to dance in front of a camera?
Yeah. That's going to be the next episode. It's just us doing TikTok dances for an hour straight. And that would break every rule on the internet. I feel like nobody would want to see that. But maybe next time.
So, cats or dogs?
So I think every episode we're gonna bring something to where we ask a couple of questions that are consistent, so that way we can get the same answer from every guest. So to start it off, since we're going to be your hosts and your tour guides throughout this journey, I'd say, the first question you said is cats or dogs, and I'm dogs 110%, and I have a feeling you might be the same way.
I am dogs.
Are you allergic to cats, or?
I do have an allergy to cats, but if I wear a mask or if I don't touch my face when I'm petting your cat, I'm good. But as soon as I get in the car and I feel like I touch my face, I start breaking out. But they are sweet animals, and I do want a cat. I want to love them.
We'll get you a cat.
Yes.
You can wear a mask every day at home. I'd love
Morning,
to see.
noon, and night.
Yes, you could dress like Zorro. It'd be perfect. I envision your dog's not loving having a cat lounging around the house.
No, actually, one time I brought Max to one of my best friend's houses, and I forgot that cats were at their house, because sometimes they're at like their family's house, and they brought them over for the day, and Max ran in, smelled the cats, broke all the plants in their living room, dining room. I was mortified. It was a family's house. It wasn't like a friend's apartment where I could quickly clean it up and apologize. This was a family's house, and I'm mortified. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And they're like, get your dog. And I'm trying to get him. It was so hard to control him. The cats are climbing up the walls, pretty much, climbing up like everything, the curtains. I was so embarrassed. I just wanted to crawl out of my, like, crawl in my skin, crawl out of my skin. I don't know. I just wanted to run away. I wanted him to run away too with me.
You just opened the door and let him
We
go.
were so embarrassed.
No, Max was just doing his job
Yes.
to just destroy all
But
cats
Jake
in
would
the
love
room.
a cat. I think he would hang out with it.
Yeah, Jake's cute. He would play with the cat. I think Maggie would be the same way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. She's so lazy. Well, she loves every other living being. So like we once were like bringing her to a restaurant, and we were sitting at the door just talking, and she was playing with something down. I didn't know what she was playing with, and we looked down by her, and she was playing like tag with a pigeon. So like she was bopping the pigeon on the head, and the pigeon was just playing back with her. And I think dogs' instincts, especially a herding dog or a cattle dog like Maggie, should probably be to like attack that thing like it's a ratter. And then instead she was just kind of hanging out, like, hey, what's up, pigeon? So maybe she'd be okay with cats, but we have allergies in our household to cats, and we had allergies to the bun, to Thumper, but my wife would wear a mask to whenever she'd clean out his crate or anything like that, and took a lot of allergy medication because that's love. You know, when you you love an animal so much, you'll take Zyrtec every day, and just so you can hang out another day with them.
It's funny. I'm allergic to rabbits too.
I feel like cat dander and rabbit dander are probably not too different.
Yeah, and then maybe the hay and the horses all.
Well, rabbits eat hay, so maybe
That's
that's
true, so
maybe it's
maybe
that
it's the
hay.
hay.
But what are the cats doing? They're just being a-holes. So cats got some attitude, I will say that. But again, those cats with the jean jackets, they had the kind of attitude I like.
Yes.
Like a couple of Grease, like people in the movie Grease, like the T-Birds. That's
I had a
those-
cat punch me the other day.
Oh, that sounds violent.
He was in the closet, and I was trying to get him out of the closet because he couldn't be in the closet. I was grabbing a bag, and he just swatted at me like full-on punch.
Well, you deserved it, I guess.
I guess so.
You probably had it coming, you know. But so cats or dogs, we got that figured out. We're both doggos. What's something that, I guess you kind of said this, but that you're unlearning, like right now, and like what would you say is a skill or a habit that you are trying to unlearn?
I think being hard on myself, if that's one, just like learning how to adjust to like who I am today, and I'm not who I was 10 years ago. Like, you look at a photo from 10 years ago and you're like, what the fuck? Like, why don't I look like that? But you still are the same person. You just might have gained a few pounds, or my tooth might have shifted a little bit, or my eyes got bigger, my eyebrows drooped a little bit. But I can't be so hard on myself, and I think it's very important to tell yourself that you are beautiful, you are enough, and you are who you are today, and there's a reason why you're here.
Yeah, that's what that Ubastank song was about, right? The reason? No, that's about someone specific, probably. But yeah, so I would say that that's a good thing to unlearn, and goes along with my whole self-love journey. And if I look like I did 10 years, what I did was I just made sure to change, like I look like a whole different person. Back when I was in the news, I wasn't allowed to have a beard, and I weighed about 100 pounds less. So I just completely morphed, and now I can't be like, oh, I wish I looked like that, because people will be like, that's not even you. So it's perfect. No, but I think the self-loathing thing is something I need to unlearn to an extent. I use it as a self-deprecating humor, I think is a good thing. But if it actually starts affecting the way you think about yourself, that's when you have to start checking yourself. But for me, the biggest thing I need to unlearn is just being on like the boundary thing. I guess I need to learn boundaries and unlearn the fact that I'm on Instagram way too often, or that I'm trying drum up like I'm not doing enough. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm not doing enough reaching out, or I'm not doing enough on a daily basis. Is that feeling you get when you're not. I don't even know where it comes from, because you're not like, it's not like there's a monetary value you're expected to reach each day. I don't have a boss who's telling me what to do, but it's just coming up. When you don't have a boss, it's almost like harder, because the world is your oyster, and and you don't have someone giving you the goals. You have to create them yourself, and you have to accept that they are what they are. So that's a hard thing to unlearn, is being hard on yourself, like you said. And then, what's one takeaway from what you do in your business or in your life that you want anybody who's listening to this to walk away with? And I think that almost ties in with what you just said.
I think to be nicer on yourself and to take care of yourself, to fill your cup before you fill other cups. I think we say that sometimes, and we say it softly, but we don't really look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I'm going to do the best I can today, and I love myself, and I'm here for a reason.
So it's not, your takeaway is not that people who have cats should get dogs instead?
Nope.
Okay, because that was going to be mine. No, I love that. I think I really like the idea of having a reason and giving people a reason for things to go like they are, or feel like they have a reason out there. And it doesn't have to be religious, it just can be just you have some sort of purpose, and you can create your purpose too. I think there's a lot of different ways to go about it. My one takeaway is that you should always get your photos taken at Monlock Moments Media. No,
that's a good one.
That's a good takeaway, is that you should be in my studio. No, the takeaway I'd say is along the same vein of self-love, is that you should really try your best to maybe even look at your photos and sit in the discomfort of a little bit of self-loathing, and try and say something nice about yourself. And that's a big takeaway. And just know that you can always change a little thing, and it'll help. Like it's so funny, like with photos, like I said, you could change a little thing about a pose, and all of a sudden people are really happy with how they look. It's maybe their shoulders were shrugging, and don't be afraid to ask for help. That's, I guess, the biggest takeaway.
That is a good one.
Yeah. So I'd say with all of that, I think that we've talked your ear off, and hopefully folks are interested enough to keep on hearing what other people have to say too. But thank you, Amanda, for doing this with me.
Thank you, Jeff.
Alrighty, and we'll talk to you on the next one.